You're listening to Lore Friendly with Chris Takahashi and Alice Bell.
Holy crap.
According to closed caption, though, it's actually Ellis Bell. I've been saying your name wrong the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Alice Bell is my evil twin brother. Because Ellis is a guy's name, right?
Pretty much, I think.
Yeah, it's my evil twin brother. He has a beard.
It's mostly a surname, I'd say. I don't think it's actually like a first name, unless you're talking about like an island or something. Ellis Island is an island. But
I know that Elias is a name. Elias. That's how you pronounce it, not Elias.
Elliot.
Yeah.
Like Elliot Ness.
I want to pick up on the closed captioning this week before YouTube corrects itself, because when it was on my tablet, it was hilarious. The next morning when I woke up, it was shit.
It's learning. Well, this week we called you Ellis Bell, and it might translate that into Alice, so who knows?
Who knows? The mystery continues.
It doesn't pick up the American accent, I suppose.
Yeah, it doesn't like my accent, maybe. Or my vocal fry.
Nobody likes that, Alice.
But that's like the signature part of my voice.
Ellis Kardashian.
I was just thinking, what about if we take a load of time to really get into the heart of this pod?
I like how we started once again with like 4 minutes of nothing. We're not gonna make what's his name? Dave happy?
Dave?
Dave Fallout 4, who left a comment on our director's commentary video.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen to you sitting and speaking
He's like,
about nothing for 4 minutes.
He said, and I quote, "I get it, you guys like hearing yourself talk, not playing Skyrim. Wow, takes you 4 minutes of talking and doing nothing until you start. Blah, blah, blah. Hint, talk and do stuff. No one wants to your character," and that's she, S-H-E, "stand around for 4 minutes while you talk shit." Wow.
I mean, to be fair, that is a pretty accurate description of what we do. We just sit around and talk shit and nobody really wants to listen to us.
Yeah. I think it's mostly my fault because there was another video where I got the same comment and it was like a mod tutorial video. And it's like, and I quote, 3 minutes, 16 seconds in, still waiting for you to get to the point, realize the video is over an hour, thumbs down.
Aww, Chris.
They get so angry when they comment.
Aww.
And thumbs down, if you couldn't tell by my screaming, was in caps. So I imagine him, he was at his computer and he like clicked that thumbs down like really, really hard. He's like,
and then he broke his
mouse.
mouse. Yeah. He dislodged the little clicker.
I don't dislike videos on YouTube. I just kind of ignore them. I never really actually press that stuff.
That
but
takes a lot of effort.
I do, yeah. I do mute people on Twitter that I don't like.
I don't think I've ever muted anyone or blocked anyone. I just can't ever be asked.
But the mute thing is great though because it's not confrontational. You know, like if you block somebody, it's like, okay, they know that you've blocked them. Because I know people do that on the Tales from the Commonwealth website. Like, I'll get like messages every now and then, like, "Why did you block me? Like, do you have a problem with me?" and stuff like that. And like, I'm like, I don't manage the site, so I have no idea who's blocking or who's getting blocked, who's getting whatever. But I would have liked if Nexus had a mute option. I think if Nexus had that, like, or like how Reddit does with shadow banning, where people can comment, they can like type all they want, like furious anger, and it won't show up at all on the like comment section, and then no one will ever see it. And the beautiful thing about that is they don't know that, right? The comments still show up for them, and they think like you're reading all this horrible shit, but nobody's actually ever seeing it, and so both sides are like happy. So that's why I think mute is better.
Yeah,
than
that
block.
seems like the ideal solution.
So you've never muted or blocked anybody before?
I think I might have once when I was around 15, and I used to go on this website called Gaia, and there was this one dude who was like stalking me all over the forums, and I was like, yeah, nah, bye.
Well, stalkers you have to block. That's a little bit different. You don't want them to keep like posting.
Yeah.
Trolls you want to mute, I'd say.
But that just takes so much effort, and nobody ever leaves me any mean comments, so I never feel loved, and I never feel hated.
So you don't want to mute Dave?
Nah. I mean, he makes a valid point at the end of the day. We do just chat shit.
Yeah. We don't want to mute constructive criticism. And Dave's criticism, while constructive, was not heeded by us. Again.
Yeah, we just waffle. I love the word waffle. Not just like the edible waffle, but just going on and on about absolutely nothing in particular.
Are the words related at all? I don't actually see like waffles waffling.
I don't think so. Let us go on a Google search.
While you're doing that, today's topics.
Now that we've got past the waffle.
Yeah. Today we'll be talking about some of the mods released this week, the Doctor Who season finale, as well as
The season finale.
Yeah. Wasn't it the season?
The season finale.
You can say finale.
That's just you fucking up English.
No. That's a word.
The finale.
I'm sorry, that is a
You
way
have
of
final,
saying something.
or you can have finale. You can't have finale.
No, yes, you can. You can have finale. That's like tomato. It's the same shit. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted, the Doctor Who season finale.
Thank you.
As well as an update on our personal projects and mods and hobbies even.
Yeah.
So, starting with that, mods this week. Beyond Skyrim came out.
Yes, and it
other
looks incredible. It only came out a couple of days ago at the time of recording. So neither of us have had any time to get on and play it.
My excuse is, I mean, your excuse is time. My excuse is I don't have the requirements installed. Like, you need to have SSME, Skyrim Memory Extender, installed.
I think I have that.
I don't think I have that installed. Anyways, once I see like any kind of barrier, I immediately get frustrated because I'm lazy and quit.
I have a younger sister who does all the installing and stuff for me, because she's like a techno wizard.
So that's what I just need to have, is just a younger sibling. I need to ask my parents to get on it. He's like, have a kid.
Come on,
like,
they need to be technologically competent.
I'm like, I need a younger sibling, and they're like, oh, that's great. That's so adorable. Why do you want one?
I need someone to install these mods for me.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's the only reason I need a sibling.
I mean, it's pretty handy. I couldn't even think about modding Oblivion without her.
As long as they're trained. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a well-trained child to assist
then
you,
they just scream and poop everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. Anyway.
I did manage to download the mod and check out the voice cast in the credits.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of familiar faces on there, isn't there?
Yeah, it looks like there's 18 voice actors in total, and 9 of them have worked on interesting NPCs.
Which just goes to prove how talented your voice cast is.
Or they only got the 9 good ones and everyone else.
Bitch!
No,
it's true. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to playing it because there's going to be a lot of familiar voices.
I have seen some snapshots with the voice acting in it, and the actual level of the voice acting in the mod is professional level. It is something you would expect to come out. Not of Bethesda, because Bethesda don't have a great track record with voice actors, but maybe a more I don't want to say competent, but a studio that focuses a lot more on vocal talents than maybe Bethesda? Maybe?
Well, the thing about Bethesda is, I mean, it's funny to say because they're $1 million company, but because voice actors are paid for their time, and actually, as we learned last week, not very well, but because Bethesda's trying to fit it all into a budget and maybe cut a few corners, I don't think there's anybody in the room giving voice actors context, right?
No.
They're just like given like a set of lines. if you export the dialogue from Fallout, and I'm sure the case is the same with Skyrim, there's like a few notes there, like angry or threaten or sarcastic, right? And that's it. It's just like you read a line and you get like a small little note as far as the context.
I actually saw a really interesting video on, I think it was Eurogamer, about the Fallout 4 voice actor who played Kellogg. Didn't know that he was in Fallout 4 until one of the other voice actors on the project said, who was really familiar with the Fallout 4 universe, managed to put together the context clues and things and be like, oh, so we're in Fallout, that's great. He had no idea which character,
primary antagonist.
He had no idea which character he was playing. He had no idea how big his role was in the overall game. He had no idea what kind of world he was performing for, and it's just like, that's not going to get a great performance out. I mean, I feel like he did really well from what I have seen in Fallout 4, because obviously I have yet to play Fallout 4, but still. I feel like he did a really good job given the lack of context.
Imagine if that was the case for like Star Wars and like James Earl Jones walks into the theater and like, oh, I'm Darth Vader.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm this guy that everybody's talking about.
Oh, that's my son. Oh.
That's why I'm doing all this heavy wheezing. I have this like machine attached to my chest.
This makes so much more sense.
Yeah. The one thing that is the same in mods and in any kind of voice acting sphere is that you're never in the room with the actors that you're talking to. So that's always kind of weird, I think. Is that so you can't play off each other?
I think that only happens very, very rarely with voice acting, that they are in the same room.
Yeah.
The only example I can think of where I know that they are in the same room was probably for the Arkham Asylum video games, because they really like the chemistry between Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, who have obviously been doing this role for decades. So they had them in the same room, but I think, it's a rarity.
Yeah, I think it still works though. I think in that case, it's not as important as just knowing the context of the line, because you could play off anyone really. I mean, you could play off the voice in your head if you're talking back and forth.
I mean, that's just how I get through my day.
Yeah, especially if you're skilled or have imaginary friends. But yeah, Beyond Skyrim, download it. It's everywhere.
It looks incredible. It is on the front page of the Nexus. It is already on top files of the month, and I can't wait to actually sit down and play it if I can figure out how to install it.
Yeah, me too. Once I get SSME installed first. But any other mods released either this week or earlier that you want to know about?
Beyond Skyrim has kind of taken over the hot files list. Everything has been overshadowed.
Yeah. Well, that's why for our podcast, one of the mods I found that is sort of interesting as a concept is Dragons on Necklaces by Medic. That mod, if you put on a necklace, it summons a dragon.
What the fuck?
I'm not sure what. I think it might be a friendly dragon to ride or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a hostile dragon. But just as a concept, it's like a summoning thing. I mean, it might work better as a horn, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like a big war horn. Like, that's got links to Norse mythology and things. So.
Yeah, that mod might already exist, but it didn't come out in the last 7 days. So I'm going to highlight Dragons on Necklaces by Medic. And one more mod, or actually two more mods. The first mod is another concept thing that I liked. It's animated for main menu replacer by dantephoenix. It's the fourth of 5, I guess. I don't know why he's going out of order, but there's like 5 main menu replacers. But I like it as a concept because it's animated. Like it's like snowing while you're on the load screen. It's kind of cool. The one thing I don't like about it is the choice of NPCs in the wallpaper. They're kind of like in bikini armor, show way too much skin. Like you wouldn't be able to like have that kind of wallpaper and be at work. Not that you'd be at work playing Skyrim, but I like the concept, an animated main menu.
Oh, I like the music.
I don't know if it has custom music, does it? Oh, it does.
Oh shit!
So not only does it have animation. It has custom music, and it's really cool. It's just there's a naked woman on there too, so that's the one.
I mean, that's a good way to get clicks at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you gotta sacrifice a bit of creative integrity
Yeah.
for them butts.
I wish they had a different option, like, a clothed option. That would have been cool. But yeah.
You can't have it all.
Yeah, nope. And the last mod...
I think you said the last one was the last one.
Yeah. Well, I lied. Is Viking's Longhouse by
Shit,
Schwarky.
I love Vikings. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh,
This is just a cool Longhouse.
shit. Oh, dude. This is so cool.
This is a traditional Longhouse, but it doesn't look like any of the other ones in Skyrim. I just like it just from
This
a
is
stylistic standpoint.
fucking
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, there's a loom.
And it came out this week.
I'm just going to click through these images a second. This is really cool. I like this. All you need now is a scop who will invent some wonderful praise poetry whilst you're sat in the hall, whilst one of the bards, beats around on the drums.
It's very lore friendly, I think.
Well,
But-
it's based on name drop. Oh. So
We're
good.
so good.
You're so funny, Chris. Oh dear.
But any other mods released either this week or earlier that you want to talk about?
Okay, so there is a really cool, just looking crossbow for the special edition of Skyrim, which we haven't really featured any special edition mods because whilst I think we both have it, neither of us have played it. I think you've jumped into it to maybe convert interesting NPCs a little bit, and then that's about it.
Yeah, well, I tried saving the mod in the creation kit, and then it crashed, and then I gave up. Like most things in life. If it's not working right away, I get frustrated and throw a tantrum.
That's the same as me. But yeah, Nightingale Crossbow is just a cool looking crossbow, and I like cool looking things, and I like playing stealth archers because who doesn't like playing a stealth archer? I mean, stealth archer is probably the best build that you can get in Skyrim. If you're going to play a high elf, then you should probably play a stealth archer.
True.
Whew.
Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the toothpick option, which we
Ah.
both want. But you can get it in real life now that they have toothpick crossbows. Have you seen that news
Yeah.
that I linked to?
What the fuck? It's
In China, for those who aren't aware, they started actually selling crossbows that can shoot toothpicks for kids. It seems like a terrible idea, and I want one desperately.
who thought, right, you know what we should give kids after fidget spinners? We should give them a weapon that could be used potentially lethally. That sounds like a great idea. Instead of just twiddling about a spinny thing, now they can shoot at their parents when they tell them to stop fidgeting with the spinny thing.
Now, can it pierce the skin?
It can if you
That's
because you can put a toothpick in, which is what I think you're meant to use with it, which is a terrible idea anyway, because that's gonna
Right.
fucking hurt. But you can fit nails into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you use it with nails, it would definitely kill
Yeah.
somebody.
I mean, we're training the new generation of assassins.
I don't really get the logic behind why these are made. I guess it's no different than getting toy guns. I mean, obviously, with the added caveat that it's a lot more dangerous.
A BB gun can't fire a real bullet, Chris. There is a difference.
But I'm trying... No, I'm trying to imagine the logic of using it for toothpicks. Like, imagine some dude, he's like eating dinner, and he's like, oh, I got this thing stuck in my teeth. Do you know what would be great for getting this thing out of my mouth? A fucking crossbow.
That's some twisted Robin Hood type level logic. What? I really... What? That's...
Well, because it's for toothpicks, right? It's not for nails. Like, the design... Like, it was engineered to use toothpicks. So, and what are toothpicks used for? They're used for picking your teeth, right?
So you're just saying that the original purpose of this was to pick food out of people's teeth by shooting them in the teeth and potentially piercing the gums. Gums bleed if you brush your teeth too hard. Never mind firing a fucking toothpick into them, Kris. What the fuck?
I'm just following the logical regression here, like reverse engineering the idea back to its original concept.
You see, I think that this is just kids like weapons, right? Let's get down with the kids and give them a potentially lethal weapon, and then we can euthanize some of the adult population, and then the children will rise.
Well, maybe if that was their motive. I mean, the thing is, they could have used like some kind of pellet thing, right? Like a pellet arrow, like a plastic, dull arrow.
And just didn't think.
Yeah, but just make it like sized. I don't know really how crossbows work, so maybe it's impossible. But I was thinking maybe if they just made it sized so that it could only fit this patented pellet arrow, right? Then it makes sense as a toy. But the fact that it's using toothpicks makes me wonder.
I feel like they didn't really put much thought into the design. And so we're like, right, this looks like a crossbow. It fires something. Right, let's go. Let's ship it out. Let's kill some parents.
Metal needles, if you put metal needles in there, it could even crack glass.
What the fuck? That's so bad. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? What?
I want one, actually. I'm an adult. I should be. Well, I could probably buy a real crossbow.
Is that how you threaten voice actors to get their lines into you eventually?
Unfortunately, there's no virtual portal that I can shoot my toothpick crossbow.
Thank God.
Into, but, yeah.
I mean, that would definitely make me actually record my lines on time.
You say that, but you actually do record your lines.
It took a lot of doing, but I mean, I don't need threatening so much anymore.
Yeah, you actually record the lines before I even make the mods, which is a rarity. I get to test with your voice in there.
We record the lines before the game even comes out. That's how on time we are.
We did in this case, though, because I actually had the quest written out before the game was released. So, mod authors out there, get on that toothpick crossbow. The children of Skyrim and Fallout need a weapon that will help them survive in these harsh wastelands and snowlands.
In these
I don't know what you call Skyrim.
I think you could still class it as a wasteland.
Environments. In these harsh environments, I should say.
Fair. Let's go with harsh environment.
Anyways, like I said, seems like a terrible idea, but I want one.
No, don't give him one. Stop donating Patreon money to him. He'll just buy toothpick crossbows.
Oh, speaking of Patreon, the new quest for Tales from the Commonwealth. If you're interested in testing, I have put a link on the Patreon page, so that to any Patreon donors, you can download the mod before it goes public, and it will eventually go public because obviously all mods are free and in no way related to Patreon. But you can test the new quest. It's one of two that we're working on. The second one we're working on now, which you are recording lines for, right?
Yes.
Alice?
Oh yeah, I am. This is the thing about recording lines without context. You don't know what you're recording for.
I'm one of those horrible people who don't give context, I know. But I trust that you're a pro. It depends on the actor. Some actors need context, some don't. Some don't want it. Are like, hey, we can Skype and I can, like, be there to direct you. And they're like, nope, I don't want to hear your voice. I'm doing it on my own. I'm doing this shit on my own. I work better on my own. I don't need your advice.
I still think you should add in like a little joke character in the mod that is voiced by you so that people will find you and they will hear you. And then you can just be like, hello.
No, there are characters that have been voiced by me.
What?
It's just that they're like, I don't know. We've talked about this before. There's a guy in Skyrim who dies and he's voiced by Trent Martin, I believe. But I wanted to add like a scream like in testing because I wanted to be able to tell if my script was firing, and the script needed to be attached to a voice file, right?
Right.
So when he died, I gave him a death scream. I gave him like a Wilhelm scream. And it was like, ah, or something like that. It was really bad. It was really bad.
What the fuck was that?
No, it was on purpose. I wanted to make it really stupid and just silly, right? Just because it wasn't gonna go in the mod. It was just a test, right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, just kind of like just to fuck with people, I just decided to keep it in. It was a terrible scream, and he does it for like a split second when he dies.
Well, I need to go find this.
But
I need to go find
but
this
when
now.
the character, it's in the quest, Honor's Calling, I think, with Anamla.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a scene where Gerald the Thalmor kills like an unsuspecting guy, and like while he's like getting blown to bits, like if you listen closely, you could hear my Wilhelm scream.
Is that a little Easter egg now?
I think it's
Easter
been
egg
an
guides
Easter
with
egg.
Law Friendly.
It's been an Easter egg. You just haven't been aware of it. I'm pretty sure we discussed this before in a previous podcast.
I mean, we did start recording for like 6 months.
Yeah.
More than 6 months.
Well, we did
so
start like 4 years ago, I think, right? I don't know. Has it been
We
that long?
didn't start the podcast 4 years ago. More like 3.
Yeah.
Because we had another massive gap as well.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but yeah. There are like snippets of my voice when like the mod needs it. Like Atomic Radio has one too, where I could not get this one voice line, or this one line voiced, and like I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself, and then that was it. And it like the PSA lady is like encouraging, she's like encouraging like ladies and young girls to kind of just like, you know, put up with men and just nod your head and be silent, and yeah. And that's how you'll get popular.
Yeah. I mean, that seems pretty accurate to real life. I don't know about the Fallout universe, but I mean...
It is basically a parody of things that came out in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Any projects you're working on?
Well, very recently, I put myself forward to the creator of the Clan Quest mod for my favourite game of all time, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh.
And... basically, he's just released a patch which updates and reinvigorates the Toreador quest line in the Clan Quest mod, and I'm a big character in it.
Oh, wow.
I voice a sexy person
Oh.
because that's unheard of. So you can.
I vowed
check
to
that
go
out.
through this podcast without talking about sex once, because I talk about sex too much. But this case, it's relevant.
I said sexy.
In this case, it's
I said
relevant, though.
sexy.
In this case, it's relevant, so I'm giving myself a pass.
Okay.
So, tell us about this sexy character.
I don't want to give too much away because you should all buy Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and play it, and play the Clan Quest mod because it's amazing. Like, this game has been out for 13 years now, and the modding community is still going really, really, really strong. So you should play that. But, yeah, so my character is basically trying to give the player character some dirt on a malevolent figure in the game. And so you have to do a task for her before she will give you said dirt. And it's...
But aren't all vampires malevolent?
Well,
and sexy?
the guy that you're getting dirt on is particularly malevolent. Well, if you play Bloodlines, then you realise that there's a race called the Nosferatu clan. And they are butt ugly. Like, they are so ugly that you can't actually walk on the street.
Wow, so not sexy.
There are some not sexy
There
vampires
goes my stereotype.
and they tend to wear bondage gear as well, so it's just a bit disturbing. But yes, so that's the latest thing that I've worked on that has been released. I'm also working on another mod, but I don't think it's my place to like talk about it until it's actually out, because there's no point in discussing projects that are ongoing until they're actually out, and then I can promo the shit out of them.
So, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
What were your thoughts on the season finale?
The season finale.
Yeah, the season finale. What did you think?
I love that that for the last block of episodes, they really, really double down on the retro 70s Doctor Who vibe.
Yeah, were the clothes part of that whole thing that Bill Potts was wearing? Because that confused me, because I don't go outside much, so I was like, I was really confused. I was like, is this what people wear now, or are they going for a retro vibe? Like, I was really, really confused. Because you know how clothes fashion cycles back, right?
Oh, no, I thought you meant about, like, in the actual finale. No, that's not what people wear. Bill Potts is fairly fucking modern in her clothing choices. Apart from when she goes to Victorian England.
No, she's wearing like 80s clothes, isn't she?
Oh yeah, that's just modern clothes.
Yeah, so people are wearing 80s clothes now? Oh, so I was right. People do wear that stuff now that they wore back then. Oh. Okay. But you were talking about, I'm sure you're talking about like the Cybermen and like the retro look.
So the first time I saw that iteration of the Cybermen was in one of the Doctor Who Confidential episodes, and you only got a glimpse of them. And the first time I saw them, you just burst out laughing because they look fucking ridiculous. They are cloth faces with metal mouths, and they look absolutely stupid, and you can see that it cost maybe 20 quid to put together that outfit.
Yeah, well, the end result, but I thought the part in the hospital where they were like before they were being prepped to become Cybermen.
Yeah.
Those like people with the masks, they look terrifying.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, is that they managed to take something that looked so ridiculous and so campy and so absolutely stupid, and then they managed to turn it into something that was genuinely creepy. And that's something that I haven't seen a lot of in Moffat's run, and that was an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah, especially for someone like myself. Like, I haven't seen like the earlier Doctor Who's. I just started watching because you told me to watch it, right? And so, like, for me, there's no nostalgia with all these, like, with the campy references to like the old days. So for me, it just looks silly. It just looks campy, right? And then with this episode, they actually, made them look terrifying. They made them look cool. They made them look modern, I should say. And so it gave the show a seriousness that it didn't really have before, I'd say. With a lot of like the campy Cybermen or Daleks especially. I mean, they have a plunger, right? And like an egg beater. Yeah. So it's really hard for me to like see them as terrifying because I wasn't watching as a kid and like seeing the old versions and being terrified of them.
I don't think you would have been a kid when the old versions came out, to be fair. I think you would have still been a glimmer in your father's eye, so.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I didn't watch it as a kid, And then at that point, it might have still been kind of creative and terrifying. I don't know.
I was very disturbed by the interactions of the two masters. That was some awful Rule 34 kind of stuff going on there.
Well, it makes sense, though. They're, like, narcissistic, so... And narcissism is basically loving a reflection of yourself.
It did definitely portray that narcissism, but I'm just terrified to search anything Doctor Who on Tumblr at the minute, just in case. Because that isn't something that I want to see on my dashboard.
Well, it helps that they're different people. Like, imagine... I mean, they're the same person, but they're different actors. I mean, they're different genders.
But they still want to fuck. It reminds me of the Lutesses in Bioshock Infinite.
Right.
Where they're the same person, technically.
It's a bit incestuous, but it's not as bad as if it was, like, Missy and Missy and the Master and Master. Like, the exact, like a replica of yourself, and they were making out. That would be even more disturbing or something.
That is not something that I need
At
to
least
see.
they're different actors.
They're different characters, kind of. They have different personalities.
Yeah. So you can still see Peter Capaldi and David Tennant, like, make out and still be okay with it. Or Matt Smith and David Tennant.
No. I mean, if they were outside of their roles as the Doctor, then do what you want to do kind of thing, but not my kind of jam. I'm not into it if it's them being in character.
Some people are, though. You'd be surprised.
Well, that's the kind of thing that you go on Pornhub for, Chris. I now know what your Pornhub search history is.
Yeah, my recommended for me, it's all Doctor Who gay porn, basically.
Gay incest porn.
Yes.
Self-cest.
Yeah.
Past-cest?
Current-cest. I don't know.
It's confusing time and space and things.
Don't kink shame me, Alice.
Kink shaming the fuck out of you. One thing I really, really did like the ending kind of petered off the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get David Bradley coming back as the first Doctor. And if you didn't know, David Bradley played the first Doctor in Adventure in Space and Time, which was a documentary about the beginnings of Doctor Who from the 60s. And he played William Hartnell.
Yeah, see,
in that documentary.
I had to look it up because I was confused. I was like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, he's the first Doctor. Wait, the first Doctor's alive? And then I had to look it up. And it's like, oh, he's playing the guy who played the first Doctor. Now it makes more sense.
Yeah, he played William Hartnell and the Doctor in that documentary. And so the fact that he like Adventure in Space and Time was probably my favourite part of the whole 50th anniversary celebrations. Because in retrospect, the 50th anniversary was not my cup of tea. But to bring David Bradley back, because he did leave such an impact, that documentary was absolutely stunning. And so to bring him on to play the actual Doctor,
right,
is an absolute perfect fit, and I cannot wait to see if this Christmas special is going to be better than last year's Christmas special, because last year's Christmas special was shit.
He's more William Hartnell than the actual William Hartnell, because nobody remembers him. Because we weren't alive. We weren't alive then.
Because we only know him from Adventure in Space and Time.
There's some like old Doctor Who fan who's just like shaking his head right now.
Oh, you young whippersnappers!
How dare you insult the great William Hartnell like that? This imitation.
I mean, he was a very grumpy old man, William Hartnell, so it's probably William Hartnell shaking his fist at us. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't reveal who Capaldi is going to regenerate into.
Are they gonna bring Bill back?
I hope they do. Apparently she's in talks with Chris Chibnall, who's going to be the new showrunner. So that would be nice, because I enjoyed Bill. I thought she was a great companion.
They should at least give every companion like 2 seasons before they... I felt like we needed to see more of Bill before we kind of...
lost her.
Yeah.
I want to see more Bill. Bill was my favourite companion in a long time.
I like the fact that a lot of her like historical references or movie references, I thought that was a good gag. That was like my favorite gag of the season. The one thing that I didn't like about Bill was in the first episode, the Doctor was giving her like 96s and 97s and stuff in her essays. And that just isn't realistic. Like, you can travel through space and time all you want. No one is getting a 96% on an essay. That isn't how university works. You are happy with your 70% or 65% and you will like it. Because there's no point in getting anything higher than that. There's no point. That's like, if you get into the mid-80s, never mind the high 90s, then that's work of a publishable quality. Unwatchable.
Absolutely unwatchable, world-breaking, universe-bending, absolute paradox. 1 star.
I liked Bill. I liked the season overall mostly. The one nitpick I have is they basically regurgitated the same end for Bill as they did for Clara, which is instead of being put in the Dalek, she was put into a Cyberman.
Yeah.
And then in order to like invoke a happy end, they kind of put in this MacGuffin where this like girl comes at the end and like, you know, they travel the universe together to the end of time. And I know that has to be the case because you can't have like despair, you can't have like negative endings in Doctor Who because it's still like basically a kids show more or less, right?
I don't know, I'd still be happy if Clara died. That would have been the most joyous ending for me.
But yeah, there was a bit of a mirror going on there where it's like the same ending but without like the 2-season build up, without having a Shilder like be a presence throughout the season. Like the puddle girl, like I don't even know her name. Like she was in the first episode and she was in the last episode. There wasn't enough of a build up for me.
No.
So I kind of think they did a disservice to Bill because I liked her as a character and I wanted to see more of her. I just didn't.
They didn't seed it properly.
Yeah, but because it was Moffat's last season, because like there's no guarantee that Pearl Mackie was gonna be brought back, they kind of had to like just stuff the emotions in all at once, and it didn't. I don't want to say it wasn't earned because that's kind of mean to say, but it felt like that it needed to, like you said, seed a little bit more before they could really earn those emotions at the end. So that was my one critique. But I also realized like there's constraints as far as like from the outside world that kind of affect how the story has to go.
Yeah, that's true with most TV shows, is that there are always going to be outside forces that affect how it unfolds.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm sure, like, Moffat at one point wants to, like, just kill a companion, I don't know, just to do something creatively new.
yeah, so we can bring him back
Maybe he
again.
wanted to kill Clara. Yeah. Maybe he wanted to give, like, this kind of hopeless ending for Clara or whatever, but he couldn't because that's not how Doctor Who works. It's a show about hope, right? Although I will say this last episode was kind of half depressing in a way because of the way, like, Nardole ends up stuck there, right?
Yeah.
He's probably gonna die.
Nardole really grew on me. I wasn't expecting that. I've only ever seen Matt Lucas do comedy before. And, like, when he started up as being, like, a mainstay of the season, I was a bit iffy. But then he really grew over the course of the season. It was really nice to watch. I really liked his and Bill's relationship.
That's the advantage of not knowing who these actors are. It's because you're not skeptical beforehand.
You don't see them in anything before.
Oh, the other thing that's constraining is time, because you know how you mentioned Nardole and Bill's relationship?
Yeah.
Like, I think I read somewhere that Matt Lucas was saying, like, his reaction to Bill's death was cut because of time.
Aww.
So, like, they have these emotional beats that they want to hit necessarily, but sometimes because of the time constraints, you have to cut them. Yeah, so it's all...
It's a cruel, cruel world. This is why we have director's cuts.
Yeah. My favorite episode was I think it was episode 11, the one before the last one.
Yeah.
The penultimate episode, yeah. Because I really liked how they used actual science, the way time dilation works with black holes. And then the whole Missy bit at the beginning was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the whole horror bit with the old Mondasian Cybermen.
It was a really nice contrast between sci-fi and horror, and the way that they interwove those two storylines with the really clever plot device of them existing in basically different stretches of time. I thought that was... Like, if you're going to do a story about time travel and things like that, that's the kind of one you want to do, where...
Yeah.
It's just unsolvable. Pretty much.
Yeah, it was by far my favorite episode. I think for that reason, maybe the last episode, like, it couldn't live up to that.
Yeah.
But it was still great.
I quite liked, purely for personal reasons, the episode where Bill is renting out a student house, just because I relate a lot to it.
I see.
You have the awkward meetings with housemates. You have your parental figures embarrassing you. You get eaten by cockroaches. I mean, it's all like standard student living, really. I mean...
Pretty much. It's the same in America, only it's not cockroaches. It's usually mosquitoes or something like that. Or in New York, it's rats.
Ooh.
Or I
big
guess
rats.
it's cockroaches and rats in New York, yeah.
On a scale of rat to skeever, how big are the New York rats?
I don't know, because I'm not from New York.
Have you ever been to New
America
York?
is a big country, Alice. I have, but I didn't see any rats. I thought that part was overblown. I did not see one rat. I was in my hotel, like, waiting. It was like a really shitty rundown motel because I was really poor. And I was like sitting there waiting to see my first New York rat, and I was severely disappointed I did not see one.
That's because they were all living in the mattress.
Yeah.
Well, would you rather be attacked by 10 rat-sized rats or one skeever-sized rat?
They're the same size rat.
No, like one rat-sized rat. 10 rat-sized rats or one skeever-sized rats. Would you rather fight 10 rats or a skeever?
10 rats or a skeever? 10 rats, I suppose. They're smaller, right?
Yeah, but you're going to make a lot more mess. And they're probably faster and they're probably harder to hit.
Yeah, that's true. A skeever, you could probably just stick your sword into it. Or, if you had a toothpick crossbow, just stick it right in the eye.
We've come full circle! Way!
Yeah. See, there is a use for toothpick crossbows
Killing
in
skeevers,
Skyrim.
where you have actual crossbows.
That's true. I need to buy one. Although I probably wouldn't have much use for it other than picking my teeth.
Oh, imagine if you were picking your teeth with the crossbow, like, with the toothpick attached to the crossbow and you accidentally fired. How painful would that be? Fuck, that makes my gums hurt.
Better stick to nails just in case. But yeah, anything else about Doctor Who you want to talk about?
No, it was pretty good. Should we do our rating system? Should we bring the rating system back?
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about the rating
On a
system.
scale of
So,
Game of Thrones characters, how would you describe the last season, but especially the finale, of Doctor Who?
I have no idea. What do you think?
I would give it a House Blackwood. Because despite all of the sci-fi, it was very gothic horror. House Blackwood are all goths.
See, I didn't know that. I was going to Google it, but
Well, no, you do. They're all goths.
I'm going to go with your answer because my mind is a complete blank right now. Okay, we're at an hour. That's it for
Yeah.
this week's Lore Friendly. And we've been doing it once a week for 2 weeks straight. Huh?
Let's see how long
That's a
this
record
keeps
for
up.
us.
Haha. It's not.
I have faith in you, Alice. I have faith. We're gonna keep grinding these
It's
out.
very misplaced. Your faith is very misplaced.
We're gonna get to 200 views a week. I guarantee you.
Are we
Sometime
though?
next year.
Are we though? We're just gonna have to snipe viewers off of your other show.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll just siphon that. Yeah. We're like those unsexy vampires you were talking about,
Yeah.
sucking the life out of the sexier, better-looking shows.
Perfect. I'm sure that Ariane will love that.
It's all right. She doesn't have a choice.
The reason why we have all of the subscribers. We're stealing your viewership.
But yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
No. Goodbye.
All right, then tune in next week.
Okay, so here's the funny news that I've got for you.
Okay. Go ahead.
So for a bit of context, Greg's is a very, very popular pastry shop, especially in the Midlands and Northern England, where I'm from. And they do things like sausage rolls and steak bakes and pastries, and it's basically all saturated fat, all sugar, all calories, all the bad stuff
Yum.
that you want. So
Right.
this came out 3 hours ago. Greg's has released a summer diet plan.
Okay. And it's like all donuts.
No, in fairness, some of it looks healthy. But on one day, you can have an egg breakfast roll, a sausage roll in the same day. And that's like
Nice.
so much saturated fat. Like, I get the losing weight is calories in, calories out, blah, blah, blah. But
For me, I would just put this like giant like sugary fattening cake or something and then put a stick of celery in it. There.
that's all you can eat. There you go. That's your day.
There's a donut, and then somewhere in this sugary fattening donut, there's like a pea in there somewhere.
It's like, there you go. Health. Health. Apparently it was created by an independent dietitian. And yeah, but they're expecting people... They've advertised this as being something that you can eat every day. So basically it's a marketing ploy. So basically they want you to spend like 10 quid a day at Greg's.
Oh, this stuff is more expensive than the normal crap?
No, like it's the same stuff. But like, because they want you to buy your breakfast there, your lunch there, your dinner there, and your snack. So that's a lot of calories. That's a lot of money
Well,
and calories.
Technically, as long as you put like some kind of fine print under the part that it's healthy, it's like must run 10 miles a day for diet to be effective.
Or
For
must
this.
be fine with eating basically lard all day, every day.
Yeah. Claims only apply to marathon distance
Yeah.
runners or something like that.
But yeah, that's my ridiculous news story. That'll probably appeal to the English listeners, which we probably have like 5 of. So that's something.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, you too can become a super beautiful skinny person. All you have to do is eat at Greg's. Way!
Is Greg's paying us for this?
I wish. I do love Greg's.
Damn it, we shouldn't even mention their name then. I'm doing the finger thing right now. You can't see me, but I'm doing the finger thing. The finger thing means more money.
Thumbs down /
You know when you rub your thumb and your index and middle finger?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
like,
doing.
give me the moolah.
I'm doing the finger thing.
Give me the
Yeah.
moolah.
It's from that Simpsons episode. The finger thing means more taxes, but you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I've never watched that much Simpsons. Just like you don't know about Greg's. Now you know. We've both learnt something today.
I did. And hopefully so did our audience.
Way, we're so considerate. We're educating the children.
And children, don't Google way hey, because I did once and it was completely uncalled for.
Woohoo? Or do you just get loads of really weird Sims videos doing that?
No, did you remember when you said way
Oh,
hey
shit,
and then
yeah.
I looked it up? First link is a term used when Irish people violently masturbate in Japanese hotel
Oh,
rooms.
yeah, I
Exact
remember
definition of the
that.
term is unknown, but some say it's a term used when leprechauns express a great ecstasy.
Yeah.
So don't Google way hey, children.
We remind you.
Any mods you like this week?
Can I quickly give you the definition of waffle?
Go ahead.
It has as meaning, like, just going on and on about nothing in particular. Comes from the 17th century. And whereas waffle comes from Dutch in the mid 18th century, so they're not.
Yeah, but what's the
Related.
etymology? What's the etymology behind waffling?
English comes from waff.
Waff.
We had some weird slang. We still have some. Oh my god! Sorry, I've just been looking at the website that I'm using, and the second, like, you know how dictionaries can place words in context. The second one of that is, so 2 US, a failure to make up one's mind. His waffle on abortion. Jesus Christ! I'm sure that there was a better.
Are you looking at the Urban Dictionary or the actual dictionary?
No, I'm on the Google dictionary. What the fuck?
Maybe they use real life quotes that people have used in
But that's
like
just-
the public sphere.
It's just such a weird kind of context. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well.
Well, so not safe for work, Google Dictionary.
Yeah.
So, Doctor Who,
Doctor Who.
season
Ooh.
final E. Ow.
Are you calling me Al?
What did you think?
I do not.
Ellis, what did you think?
Fuck's sake, Chris. Dad, I'm recording.
Yeah, what was
That's
that?
my dad.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, living at home. Great.
Oh, that's right. You're home for
Yeah.
the summer.
Home for the summer. Hi, Dad. Yeah, that's good. That was my dad's first appearance on the podcast. For just $5 a month, you can also guest star on the podcast.